Hey, there we go. Ah, come on, Mike. Sit still. Sit still. Sit still. Rah. The arms are being a little saggy. There we go. All right. Meow. Meow, 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 meow. Hi. Welcome to the stream. This is Workshop Tuesday, where I go over and help people on anything that they have requests on help for. Also, it is our update stream, and also if there's nobody who needs help with anything, or any VR chat or whatever content, which has been kind of the norm lately, unfortunately. I tend to go over a project or do a project. So for starters, let's go ahead with updates. Hey Pumpkin, say hello. As usual, she's gonna be a little butt. Let me make sure she's even okay. We have a new router, so things have changed. Our last one went kaboom. I don't think she can hear right now. Oh, that's kind of a thing. Derp. Okay, hey Pumpkin, say hello. Oh, we're not. Okay, so let's get her up and going. Yeah, that's a problem. I don't think I've touched that computer in a minute since we updated our router.
Hello there. It's a good time to meet you. I'm Pumpkin, the pumpkin cat girl with a patch of fun. Let's get this party started with some pumpkin puns.
Wait, what just happened there? Oh, okay. Her AI computer might be up. I don't know. I don't know how she suddenly heard. Yeah. I can't access her local machine at the moment, so let's try to do a local thing instead. Whee! It's gonna take it a second to boot. That just means more crap running on this computer. But anyway, so updates, yes. You're probably hoping for a Vertilia update. Obviously, we did what we did last week, and there was a release for AICom. If certain someone who wanted help doesn't show up here, we're probably going to work on more AICom stuff. But till then, yeah, I guess we're going to do that. But they want a rundown on how to set up AICom, so that is something I'll show them how to do. Yeah, and that's you're getting a little bit of it, huh? From seeing me mess around with Pumpkin right now. Meow. But anyways, so yeah, Vertilia. Let's see. I don't know. What can I say about Vertilia? We can go over some of the important details that I'm willing to now explain public. So a lot has been going on with Vertilia. The big gimmick of Vertilia is that it's going to be a full-length game in VR chat, but it's also going to be simple enough that I myself can get it all done. And I've been going very, very fast. Surprisingly, very, 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 very fast at this. and getting a ton done. So there's systems and whatnot that I've been working on. And there are some very important ones into making a full-sized game in VR chat that had to be hashed out and figured out. The biggest one being, there you go, Pumpkin's now listening. Hey, Pumpkin, say hello to everyone.
Hello everyone. It's a smashing time to meet you all. I'm Pumpkin, the pumpkin cat girl, and I'm positive you'll have a good time here.
Yeah. So, with that said, let's, we have been working on basically whiteboxing essentially the world. But then I started working on some of the more like graphical components that kind of like will be driving major things of the world. Grass is one of them, was a major one. Water was a major one. And it's just like different shader effects and things like that I've been hashing out and getting working. Hopefully we can go through a polish phase and make things look even cooler at some point in the future. We may even release a version that is not quite fully polished, but we'll polish it slowly more over time. But I doubt that will happen. And yes, sorry, lemonade break. Clear my throat. So the explanation that I've been giving so far to people as a hint is that it is very much related to project exploration. I'm not going to spoil the plot. I'm not going to spoil the story. So that you'll never get out of me how it connects to project exploration. Other than the fact that project exploration was exploration, and Vertilia's codename is adventure. So with that said, and to make, if it's not obvious from that name, it is an adventure game. The leading inspiration for what I'm developing, from what I'm creating, is kind of going back to simplistic things, kind of going back to a simplistic nature, making things simple, keeping things simple, using simple graphics, using simple design, and it is going to basically be, it's very heavily inspired from Zelda NES. So that says a lot in itself. The screenshot that I sneak peeked it was really crude. Even then, things look better than that now in that little area. And even then, that's not even like the final area. Like, there's going to be a lot going on there eventually because you're standing on top of a snowy mountain in that picture that I leaked, that I showed, where I revealed. You mostly did that just to reveal my new avatar. So, hi, look, yeah, fancy new avatar. That's something I did. Yeah, so this avatar I pieced together basically for Vertilia. This is kind of my playing Vertilia outfit. But that's like the whole like fun with Vertilia here is instead of Link and wearing tunics, and hell, if you want to slap a tunic on your avatar and you want to like get ready to have a tunic to play a Zelda-like game, with that, like go ahead, like sure, whatever. But the idea though is going to be that it is an adventure game, and you're going to be going through an entire adventure game. Of course, we have plans for 9 dungeons. That's like the biggest thing that has happened is we've already planned out the entire freaking game to a degree. Like, we don't have the story all written, but it's all kind of in my head, and we kind of have like a story basis kind of as an understanding. And I feel like what we'll do is kind of write the rest of the story in as we go. So we have a story outline essentially for what the game is. but we don't have a story because I feel like because it's an outline, and just as you would with writing a story and creating a game, and the way I'm starting to tackle this is we'll now start from the beginning to the end because there's a progression through the game. So starting from the beginning, we'll start there and we'll slowly move out to, to the end of the game. I can give one spoiler image. This is a semi-finished. No, this isn't even finished because there's still a lot of detail that's gonna end up in this room. It's like the things that are here, but there's going to be more in it eventually. But bam, there you have it. This is the starting NPC that you have to talk to initially. Why is that screenshot so blurry? It isn't blurry like this in a... What the hey? Discord, what are you doing? Open in browser. Okay, there we go. There's a better quality image. But yeah, you're searching for the treasure to restore sanity. Yeah, not gonna tell you what that is or why. You might there'll be some story drops in the area that'll explain it and whatnot. But yeah, so this is what it's looking like so far. And keep in mind, like I said, textures are very simplistic. I'm not allowing anyone to really create a texture that's over 64 by 64 and 128 by 128 is pushing it. The only texture that I'm allowing to be that high of a res at 2048 by 2048 is the skybox. For at least the stars. And even then, I might even replace that with a procedural effect. I don't know yet, because it has to match the Milky Way. Because I kind of want it to be the Milky Way, or I can have it like match something else. But then I would have to somehow render a moon, and the moon is also kind of a thing. So, with that said, though, Retalia is going to be basically a Zelda game. Yeah. You can see that you got hearts, of course. You got coins, not rupees. You'll have other items that have quantities that'll appear in the bottom right there. You'll see that because it's Pumpkin and she's usually used for AI related stuff. You see that in the bottom left is her like control texture. That is not part of the game. Don't worry about that. Nor is the one on the bottom right for some reason that's there too. And Pumpkin's just kind of there from a mirror image there. But NPCs are going to be booth NPCs. Whatever ones that have commercial licenses, we will put them in there. Obviously, we will not be able to clone them or anything because you cannot use they can't be on public pedestals and they're not really clonable. But any avatar that I have purchased that has in the VNC license or whatever Avatar 3 license that has commercial okay for it, I will be using in this world as an NPC. And certain internal members, I would like to see them actually take ownership over an NPC. I would like to see like all these like NPCs actually be characters of people of like the staff, the team that's testing. So it'd be fun to just like have little characters inserted that are them. Because there are going to be NPCs all over the place, mainly running shops and just be, and living in their little houses and doing little things, giving hints and clues and just things that are scattered about throughout the world. The world is quite massive. Now, here's the surprising bit. I don't want to show the ID of the world, but I want to show what it is. And here is the very surprising bit about this world. So far, everything that I've done for it is only 11 megabytes. This will be Quest compatible if it's not obvious from the graphics choices and whatnot. I'm trying to keep because this simple style and simple rendering methodology and stuff like that, using like simple textures, simple geometry, all handmade stuff. I'm trying my best to keep it at like 11, as small as possible. And we have so many different dungeons planned, so yeah. And of this 11 megabytes so far, by the way, a lot of that is just the inherent VR, the asset bundle overhead. Like half of that, I would say, is just the asset bundle overhead. So the true actual computed, like generated size of things is about 5 megabytes. Or well, 6 megabytes maybe. And then of that, since that is 11 and last I looked at it was 8, I'd say 3 megabytes of it is that skybox alone. So, and this is also, when we get music in there, who knows who knows what the size of the music is going to be, but I assume the music though, because of the frequency that we're keeping audio at, and that's another funny bit, audio samples are all staying at 8 kilohertz to sound kind of like Nintendo-ish quality, but not really. It is an intentional design choice, and that'll be some of the things that I'll be doing with the game is keeping, doing intentionally designed audio to sound good in 8 kilohertz. It'll be kind of video gamey as I get there. So yeah, it's sound effects are like 5K, 6K, 7K, like kilobytes each, and they're very tiny, very small, so they don't take up a lot of space of the game. But yeah, the end idea is to keep it as like really small as possible. But yeah, we don't want it to be like a gigabyte, of a download from VR chat for people whenever there's a world update or anything like that. So there's a lot of compression stuff going on too. There's a lot of just like, yeah. But now you're probably wondering like, how impressive can this game even look then? Like, what are we expecting if it's like so small? Well, the best example I have at the moment is... Let's see. I think this is a good one to review. Well, this is bad because, like I said, we're upping the resolution of the moon and stars. So this looks way better than it does, or look way better now than it did. This is why we're I'm increasing the resolution of the moon and stars, is because they're so prominent. They're like you're seeing them all the time in the sky, and the geometry does itself. Like, look at all that grass and all that terrain and all that chaos there, and it renders at like 200 plus FPS for desktop. In VR, it still maintains a nice, at least with my index, it still maintains a nice 120 FPS. I don't know yet what it will do for Android, but it is pretty efficient. Yeah, so that is one little new sneaky thing to reveal. We have another one though that I can show. And that's this. So yeah, this is from atop a mountain. You can see down there's not even really like grass or trees yet, but there will be. But this is actually that bit out there though isn't even that's the outer shell, like the horizon outer shell kind of deal, just to mask seeing too far and mask the horizon. But yeah, this is a view from atop the mountain, and yeah, you can see the procedurally generated clouds. They look super nice, and the procedurally generated sun. And if this isn't giving a hint at things, yes, there will be a time of day system. So there is a kind of day-night cycle. Ooh, I have another good one actually, but I have to like clip it down first. Let's see, let me do it this way. There you go. So that kind of gives a nice little hint at how ominous and how big the terrain is and how it's going to look. Again, these aren't final images, but imagine this with like enemies and trees also in it, and once it gets more filled out, you're going to see more and more detail fill in to this game and the environment. But yeah. So, yep, that's that. That's my updates. That's what I got. That's some hints. If the testing is very closed testing, but I might reach out to some people if they're wanting and have time to do the weekly meeting test, because that's the kind of requirements for testing. You have to be able to show up to a Wednesday meeting. Yeah. So I guess since looks like our person hasn't shown up, let's do some development on the on ICOM. So do we? Is there anything that I can address today? Sorry, I didn't look up anything yet because I've just been heavily straight hard working on Vertilia. Make sure actually I'm not double talking or anything. Okay. Whew. I was a little worried because I didn't check for double talk or anything. Also, my Viziums aren't working, so let's also fix that. There we go. Hi. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Why can't I find the freaking channel? Huh? Like, am I going crazy? Oh, yeah, I am going crazy. Okay. Okay, there's a feature that I wanted specifically that I'm not really understanding what my rambling here is saying. It says when you interact with the AI, configure a command that always triggers that runs various actions that can be used to check on various things to build this prompt with. User talks to AI, AI runs interact command. Action and interact command checks status of screen. I'm not sure what I meant here. I guess it's a command that happens every time you interact with the AI. So the command like always checks on stuff if it needs to check on stuff. That seems a little rough to be working on right now. I was going to take a little bit of thought about how to set it up gracefully. And here's a simpler one. A simple toggle for interact or interrupt or appending and what to do with appending. Meow, 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 meow. Okay, so we need to find then, hearing manager on append. Here's the method that executes when append occurs. Simple enough here, we just need to do if it's even allowed. Meow. So what we need to do is register a trigger. Generate that function. And then we say listener. Is listener a static method? No. Oh, it's in the audio system. We want that trigger in the audio system. Do-do-do-do. I guess this needs to be public. I assume listener can never be null. Or is it not true? It can be null. Okay, so I need to do that. Although it should never be null, but you never know. Okay, so now we need a variable for this somewhere. There's a toggle. And there we go. And there we go. Now we need to actually give it some kind of Here's the description of what it does. There we go, more simplistically what that is. See, are we in debug mode? Just so it doesn't mess with, okay, Pumpkin. Let's see if we get it, if it works. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Mwah. I might need to reset the database. This is just a test database after all. There they are, databases, and let's nuke dev. Okay, so we'll just say test, test. Okay, test, test. Alright, so now if I go to STT, we'll see append, okay, GPT when interrupted, okay. That actually needs a default state of on. And there we go. And now I can just boop. How did I screw this up? The caps lock on? Nope. Should be just test, test. Yeah. Well, okay then. Boop. I don't know how that got messed up, but let's do it again. Oh. Uh-huh. How did this break? I'm so confused. Huh? Set password value equals none. Passwords do not match. It should be on change triggering a thing here. It's not triggering the thing on change. Now it decides to work? What the? Yeah, Chrome. There it is. Okay. The thing I wanted to see is working. So yeah, conveniently we also see the other thing here. Check listening is interrupt. Interrupt is a little different. So there are two different things. Like there's the ability to interrupt the AI in the first place, and then the ability to interrupt its thinking, which is appending. So it takes, if you keep yapping, then I'll like pull it back and then keep adding on to it as it's like hearing. However, if it's yapping, that would like interrupt it from, yapping its speech. So one is like interrupting its thinking, the other is interrupting its talking. So here, actually, next to interrupt a time, we want also allow interrupt, not just. Oh, never mind. That's already a thing. You don't even have to do that. It's explained right there. Yeah, if the interrupt time is even greater than 0 in the first place. Okay, never mind. We don't even need to add that. All right, that's a feature done. Okay, so somebody wants the ability to for the AI to have multiple channels, but that's a little tricky because of the UI. I would need to set some kind of array system up for the what you call it? The config fields. Oh, here's one that I've been meaning to fix and address. One that kind of annoys me. There should be something that allows us to restart the session no matter what. So there should be something that actually stores the cookie on the server end, so that way when the server is started up fresh, if you have the cookie already, then it should remember the session and allow you to rejoin back in. There is no stored session cookie. There's always a generated session cookie on launch. The way this is done on at least in the PHP era, is that you would store a session cookie or a login cookie at least into the database that gets usually pushed out with the client. So cookie num 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 num. This is gonna be kind of tricky because it's cookie handling. But this is one that I've been wanting to have dealt with for a while now. Where do I go to see cookies in Chrome again? For the current page as a developer. Do 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 do. Ah, there it is. Yeah, so we have icon session config session, right? And you see this is big scrambled cookie unique, but we need for the user to be able to store a cookie, selectively store the cookie on their own machine. So now if I refresh the page, oh, that session cookie didn't change. Interesting. See, let's copy that, right? Am I going crazy? So that was this session. There's our ridiculously long cookie for this session. Close it. Start a fresh session. Did it really generate the same cookie? Or wait, that looks a little different. No, it's somehow the same cookie. I'm not sure how or why that happened. Okay, so I'm gonna let it time out. Meow. Maybe Pumpkin knows. This is something that Pumpkin might actually know. Let's have her answer some questions. Speaking of session cookie timeouts. Huh? Hey Pumpkin, what do you know about Kestrel C# web servers?
As Pumpkin, allowed to help with your questions. And don't worry, I won't let our conversation time out after all. A pumpkin cat girl's got all the tiny Welsh.
Are you hearing yourself by accident? You wouldn't know.
Ha ha, I'm in. As for Kestrel, it's a cross-platform web server for .NET, and I know it's perfectly capable of handling session cookies and timeouts now. That's what I call the gorgeous feature.
Okay, so what we're seeing though is that when I shut down the application and start it back up again, and then connect to that page, the session cookie never changed. Does it remember the session cookie somehow?
That's a clever question, Scald. It seems like the session cookie is being stored somewhere, perhaps in a cookie jar, hee hee. But seriously, it's likely that the browser is storing the session cookie and sending it back to the server when you reconnect. Allowing the session to be resumed isn't. That's just the cat's meow.
Why is this in like horizontal order? This is annoying. So like, does it just rely on the browser to expire the cookie?
You're really digging into the seeds of the issue now. Yes, it relies on the browser to expire the cookie, and the horizontal order is likely due to the way the server is handling session cookies, maybe using a sliding expiration or something, but don't worry, I won't make you feel god-awful if you don't understand it right away.
No, it's the browser showing the cookie details in a horizontal column order that makes it really difficult to read.
I see what you mean now. It's a bit of a catastrophe, isn't it? The horizontal column order can be a real pain to read, but I'm sure there's a way to switch to a more perfectly formatted view. Maybe try looking for a settings option or a different browser tool.
Okay, there it is. Yeah, the session cookie expires pretty rapidly. And as you can see then, yeah, it's that should be what it does. Yeah. But we need to set up a session cookie or a normal cookie that's a little longer for a timeout. So from that, we need to go to the HTML here of things. We need to go into the login. Actually, there it is. Ooh.
Well, that's a relief. The session cookie's short expiration time is probably why it's not sticking around for too long, kind of like how I devour butterscotch candies in one bite. Haha.
What is gonna happen with that?
Don't worry, it's just a minor hiccup. I'm sure you'll figure out a way to make the session cookie behave.
Oh, it does
and if
not
not,
like it.
you
It
can
does
always
not like it. There's a special case on password. So I guess we need to set up a special case for that login as well.
It sounds like you're trying to crack the code. Sculled. Don't worry, I'm sure you'll hash out a solution for that special password case, and remember, I'm here to help. Not to make you feel pumpkin spiced, which, by the way, I don't like. Ugh. Exclamation.
Okay, somewhere in the CS. Here we go. Config. No, that's setting a global. When I get the variable.
You're digging into the C hash code now. I hope you're not feeling too corny, but it looks like you're making some good progress. Keep at it, and don't let any bugs squash your momentum.
Okay, so that tells us that that'll like flag it for when it goes to actually do its login thing. But it'll also keep it from like flashing.
Now we're cooking with pumpkin spice. It sounds like you've got a flag in place to help with the login process. That's amazing. Sculled.
Nope. Still not liking that variable being sent.
It seems like that variable is being a bit of a pumpkin pain.
Oh, I see. Get key.
Don't
is,
worry.
What causes it?
It sounds like you found the key to the problem. Scald. Now, let's see if we can unlock the solution. Maybe it's just a matter of pumpkining around with the code a bit.
There we go. Now it's behaving.
Perfect. It looks like you've tamed the code beast, Scald. Now, go ahead and give yourself a big ol' pumpkin patch on the back. You've earned it, and that's no good joke.
So now when it does that and it sees it, it needs to generate a cookie that it can use for login purposes when you come back to the page.
Now we're baiting some cookie magic, Scald. Generating a cookie for login purposes is a great idea. It's like leaving a trail of butterscotch crumbs for the user to follow back to the page, and I just love butterscotch.
Do you like cookies?
I adore cookies, especially if they are made with candy. It's like a match made in heaven, and I'm a pumpkin cat girl with a sweet tooth.
Even if they're browser cookies.
I see what you mean. Even browser cookies are fun. But let's be real. Skuld, nothing beats a butterscotch cookie at the cat's Meow. And I should know, I'm a pumpkin cat girl with a sweet tooth.
Oh, I see.
Hello, C. It's nice to meet you now. Let's get this coding party started. And maybe we can even sneak in some butterscotch breaks, my favorite.
I wonder what a butterscotch cookie tastes like. I wonder if that's even a thing. Could be yummy. Yeah.
You're wondering about butterscotch cookies, see? Let me tell you, they're absolutely perfectly delicious. The sweet, creamy flavor of butterscotch is just irresistible. Trust me, I'm a pumpkin cat girl with a serious butterscotch addiction, and I just can't get enough of that yummy taste.
What about lemonade? Do you like lemonade?
Lemonade is refreshing, but let's be real, it's no butterscotch. As a pumpkin cat girl, I prefer my drinks to be as sweet as my favorite candy, and lemonade is a bit too tangy for my taste, but hey, it's a great way to wash down a butterscotch cookie, don't you think?
Ah, this variable didn't get stored right.
It sounds like that variable got a little mixed up. Don't worry, Skuld, we can try to squash the bug and get it stored correctly after all. A pumpkin cat girl's got to keep her paws on the code.
Oh my god! I see the problem, Pumpkin. I see the problem. The problem is Pebkek. Pebkek again.
Haha, I'm glad you found the problem, Skuld. Now, let's get to the root of it and fix it, and don't worry, I won't make too many more pumpkin puns. I promise.
Oh, that's not good.
It sounds like Pebkek is being a bit of a party pooper. Don't
Do you know what
worry,
Pebkek is?
Skuld, I'm sure you'll figure out a way to make things right, and if not, I'll just have to come up with some more catastrophic jokes to cheer you up.
Or Pebkek. Sorry, do you know what Pebkek is?
I think you meant public hack. As a pumpkin cat girl, I'm not too familiar with hacking, but I know it's like trying to scratch through a tough puzzle, and I hope you're not trying to hack into my candy stash, because that's just not perfectly okay.
No, do you know what Pebkek is? It's spelled P-E-B-K-A-C.
I think I see what's going on now. Pekek is a humorous term that stands for problem exists between keyboard and chair, which is a light-hearted way of saying that the issue is with the person using the computer, not the computer itself.
Yeah, there you go. Guess your hearing isn't quite hearing Pebkek correctly.
I'm glad I was able to figure it out. Sculled.
Meow.
Pekek is a pretty funny term, and I'm sure it's been used to describe many a frustrating situation after all. Sometimes the problem really is between the keyboard and the chair, and that's just a catastrophe.
It's because I'm stupid.
Don't say that, Sculled. As a pumpkin cat girl, I'm a bit silly myself, and I think we all have our moments of being a little pumpkin-brained, but that's what makes life perfectly funny, right?
Woo! That lags out so bad when it starts up.
Sounds like it's having a bit of a slow start, Sculled. Maybe it just needs a little catnap to wake up and get going, or a pumpkin boost to get it lag-free and perfectly running.
Wow, it's 6 o'clock already. We already burned through an hour. Got 2 more hours, pumpkin.
Time sure flies when you're having fun coding, Sculled. It's perfectly crazy how an hour can burn by so quickly, I guess. That's just the way the pumpkin crumbles, right?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. Wait, I didn't do something right. I'm at root. Keep log in. There we go. Okay, did it work? Hey, there it is. We should set the login cookie. There we go. So we are working up to this point. We can get rid of some of these debug things. Meow, 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 meow.
It sounds like you're getting a little frustrated,
Okay,
Sculled.
so
Don't worry, debugging can be a real challenge, but we'll get to the root of the problem, and I'll be here to offer some positive encouragement and pumpkin-themed puns to keep you going.
how do I send a cookie as part of my response? Or yeah, how do I do this? How do I set the cookie? Let's see. Should be in the requests. Cookies, add. No. There's an append. I can give it
I
a
think
key
I see
value
where
pair.
you're going, Sculled. You want to know how to set a cookie in the response, and I believe you're looking for something like set cookie in the header, or maybe adding a cookie to the response object, and after all that coding, you deserve a butterscotch break.
Well, what I've got here is an iRequest. I got an HTTP request, and on it is .cookies. Is that how I set the cookie? Do I just append that?
You're trying to set a cookie with a key value pair, Sculled. Yes, that's the right idea. You can set a cookie by including a set cookie header in your HTTP response with the key value pair, like set cookie name equals cookie value now. That's a perfectly good way to do it.
I don't remember.
Don't
off the
worry,
client.
Sculled. It's easy to forget after all. There's a lot to remember when it comes to coding.
Oh, that's
Just think of
the
it like
chat.
storing a
That's my own
butterscotch.
web clienty thing.
You're checking out your own web client, Scald. I hope it's working perfectly and that you're not running into any catastrophic errors, and if you are, don't worry, we can debug it together, one cookie at a time.
Do I need the web application and not the web request?
You're wondering if you need the web application instead of the web request, Scald. Yes, that's correct. If you want to set cookies, you'll need to use the web application. Not just the web request, it's like needing the whole pumpkin pie instead of just a slice.
That is static, but it's not public. I might actually have to maybe pack a method to set login cookie or something.
It sounds like you're dealing with some access issues, Scald. Don't worry, it's like trying to get to the catnip in a private garden. You just need to find the right path and permissions to get to what you need.
Okay, so here, web app, I think we can... Cookie. I don't know. It is on the response. It is just setting it. What? Wait. Context is. Yeah, it's from. Yeah, okay. That should be coming from this. Do login HTTP requests. Wait, where's do login coming from? Do API get, it's still okay. HTTP request, which is coming from, yeah, that. So it is a mapped thing. There it is. So the okay, because it's not HTTP context. Either way, we don't do it off the server. You lied to me, Pumpkin. We do it off the request. After all. Okay, so it's supposed to be using the request that it should be response. Oh, wait, what happens with... Find all references, okay. Login result, iResult, whatever, okay. What do we do with login result? It's just returning stuff. think maybe it's just on the results. So results dot accepted. We can say, I don't know, what is this? An I result, right?
It looks like you're coming up empty board.
Result.
Scold. Don't worry,
Actually, wait a minute.
sometimes it takes a few tries to get the results you're looking for. Let's keep digging, and if we can't uncover the answer, or maybe just add a cookie to sweeten the deal.
Set result there, and then we say result. Okay, I can't do anything there. Shit. I thought maybe it would give me this is an interface, so is it like a content result? Yeah, content result. Wait, why can't I use a content result here? Cannot
Don't get frustrated.
This is not
Scold.
derived from.
It's like trying to get a cat to do tricks. Sometimes it takes a little patience and persistence. And yes, interfaces can be a bit tricky, but think of it like a pumpkin patch. You gotta navigate through the vines to find the perfect gourd.
Oh my god, this is so annoying. There's cookies here, but append is saying it doesn't exist. Why does it say append doesn't exist?
It sounds like you're having a bit of a coding crisis. Scold.
It just doesn't know.
Don't worry.
We'll just do test
Maybe you just
here,
need to cast it to the right
and
type.
test,
Like a cookie needs a little cream to go with
and
it.
New cookie options. And so let's pack our cookie.
You're determined to figure it out. Scold. It's like
Still
trying to
doesn't like
nail a
that.
catnip toy to the wall. It takes a little persistence, but you'll get there. And hey, at least you've got cookie options to keep you going. Maybe a butterscotch break will help you nail down the solution.
Oh, is that the problem? Oh, wait, what's the problem still? No overload takes 3 arguments.
It's still giving you trouble, huh? Don't worry. Scold. Let's take a step back and try to persuade the code to work. Maybe we just need to add a little more sugar to the cookie, or check if we're using the right cookie jar.
This seems so wrong, but I'm gonna try it anyways. And I think it's gonna blow up spectacularly. Because I can't set any cookie options on that. The problem here is our map. Like it's dot map get. So we have our dot map get, right? But you see the thing is with that.
It's a catastrophe.
Is that it's taking
Scold.
an HTTP request and not an
The code is
HTTP
blowing up,
context.
and now we've got a mapping problem on our paws. Don't worry, let's take a deep breath, grab a butterscotch candy, and try to remap our way to success.
It's possible to still get a response packed in that. It's just that it's the way that's built. We can try that in a second if that's the case. I think we're just not able to fish the response. So let's click that. Okay, and then
Sounds like a perfect plan. Scald. You're digging through the code, trying to find a way to get a response, and I'm rooting for you, just like a cat cheering on its favorite laser pointer. Let's see if we can get that response and make it a butterscotch-worthy win.
Yeah, see, no cookie. That didn't work. Okay, so if I say here, each
Hello there, Skull.
response, like that.
It looks like we're still trying to catch that elusive response, but don't worry, I'm here to help you reel it in, and maybe even reward you with a butterscotch treat afterwards. It seems like we've got a code conundrum. Scald. Let's take a closer look and see if it's a tasty tidbit of valid code or a catastrophic coding error, and hopefully we'll find a solution that's the icing on the butterscotch cake.
Okay, so let's push that along to the login then.
You want to compare the old code, Scald? Let's dig out the old perprints and see how they match up. Maybe we can pour on some insight and figure out what's changed, and reward ourselves with a butterscotch treat afterwards.
Okay, what's the problem here? Oh, okay, so same deal then. If it's allowed there, then we just put that there, and we just pass the response along to do login. So now what is it complaining about? There's no argument in response to what? No, what? It's literally right there. What are you talking about?
It's complaining about a missing argument, Scald.
Yeah, but it exists.
Let's take a closer look and see if we can't scratch out a
IDE failed to autocomplete.
Maybe we just need to pass the response along with
it failed its code analysis.
A little more catitude and a butterscotch bonus for good luck.
So far so good. There we go. Okay, let's try then. Now that we have the ability to set cookie. We can do response dot cookies.
I think we've got a bit of a catfight on our paws.
And now
Scald.
we actually have a proper
append. It seems like the code is saying one thing,
there it is.
But you're saying another. Let's take a deep breath, grab a butterscotch cookie, and figure out who's perfectly right.
New.
Yay! Cookies.
Cookie option.
Scald. Now we're talking. And I'm perfectly thrilled that we can set cookies, especially if they're butterscotch, my favorite.
And for now, we'll just have a generic blank cookie, no real options to it. And let's see if it sends. We should see a cookie called test with value test. Whee! I keep forgetting this password. There we go. There we are. Hey, hey. Now we can set that cookie. Yeah, I need to set some kind of randomization. I don't want to set the
Scald, we did it.
Password, but it'll be so cracked.
Now we can set that cookie and make it a sweet butterscotch success, and don't worry about forgetting the password. I'm positive we'll remember it next time, or just reset it with a tasty treat.
So what we'll want to do actually too is config.set global with a generated session or a login cookie, right? We can set login cookie all the same. String here. login cookie.
It seems like we're cooking up a plan, Scald. With a generated session or login cookie, we can set login and make it a secure and tasty treat, and don't worry, I won't crack under the pressure, just like a butterscotch candy that's hard to resist.
So that sets it both in the database, so when it comes back, we'll see it, and it sets it in the browser. And in this case, we can then set, I don't know. I don't think that's necessary. Well, it is true, actually. Expires, date, time.
It seems like we're perfectly on track, Scald.
How do I set it to
We've got
never?
the database and browser in sync, and now we can set our sights on the next step. Maybe we can even reward ourselves with a butterscotch treat to celebrate our progress.
Okay, so we can just set it to some insane offset time value. Date time offset dot etc now dot add years in this case. I don't know. Make it at least updated every year. How's that? Relog in once a year.
Clever idea, Scald. Setting the expiration date to a ridiculously far-off time is like hiding a butterscotch candy in a cat tower. It's essentially never going to expire, and I'm positive it'll work like a charm.
10 years. Okay, so
setting the expiration date to update every year is a more realistic approach. Scald.
Sets that.
It's like feeding a hungry cat. We need to refill the food bowl regularly to keep things running smoothly, and in this case, updating the login cookie every year will keep our security perfectly in check.
I don't know why I am telling this thing to do that when I do have the session cookie. I already have, yeah, add session. Oh, add session is, oh.
It seems like we're having a catastrophic moment of confusion. Scald.
And there is a
Don't
value
worry.
here. I could
Let's
just
take a
set a
step.
timeout. But I think it might be a little more safe to have a session cookie kind of deal instead, because this isn't going to do anything, because like I said, it could fail to restore the session. So it could reject because the session is not like considered logged in. The session variable is all pooful once you close AICOM. So where's it going to pull the session variables from? Like that kind of deal. So we have to set session variables if we see that you wanted it to behave this way. So with that said, let's get a unique hash, which, yeah, that's just this. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Pumpkin, where did it go? Login. There it is. Going down to here where we set the cookie. Okay, no, we generate the cookie there. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we need to check for this cookie
It's
though.
all coming together. Scald. We've got our unique hash, and it's like a sparkling butterscotch gem, shiny and new, and ready to help us secure our session variables and keep everything perfectly in order.
How are we gonna check this on like the very first like load of the page? Let me see. So like the obvious thing here is we're gonna be instantly doing pulling of pages, right? Do config page is gonna be the first thing that even happens here. The config page itself here obviously doesn't have login checks, so we can probably do a
The plot thickens. Scald.
This is probably going to want a response. HTTP response here as well. And check.
It seems like we're
login,
positive
cookie,
we're on the right track. Scald.
rec response.
The login checks are in place, and now we just need to respond to the cookie and make sure everything is working smoothly. It's like a cat landing on its feet. We're ready to adapt and respond to whatever comes next.
Now the idea is if we see that cookie and it's valid, matches the one in the database, then we just set everything as logged in.
Perfect plan, Scald. If the cookie is valid and matches the one in the database, we can grant access and set everything as logged in. It's like giving a cat a warm bowl of milk, a cozy spot to rest, and a gentle head scratch. Everything is just perfectly in order.
Can you think of a way this can be exploited and somebody could, what are the security concerns here?
A sneaky thought, Scald. I think I can possibly come up with a way this could be exploited. What if someone tries to cookie jack or tamper with the cookie, like a mischievous cat trying to catch a laser pointer? They could try to manipulate the system and gain unauthorized access.
How are they going to do that? How are they going to get the browser's cookie?
Sneaky questions, Scald. A hacker might try to get the browser's cookie through a man-in-the-middle attack, XSS, or by tricking the user into revealing it. It's like a cat trying to sneak up on a mouse. They'll use cunning and stealth to get their paws on that cookie.
Since this is all local, usually on someone's machine, do we have any concerns with that?
Local concerns, Scald. Since it's on someone's machine, we should worry about malware or viruses trying to access the cookie. Like a pesky flea on a cat's back, they could cause trouble, but with proper security measures, we can keep those unwanted critters at bay.
Would this be safe for somebody to expose to the internet? If they say they wanted their application to be remote controlled from somebody on the internet?
Exposing it to the internet, Scald. That's like letting a kitten play with a ball of yarn in a crowded room. It's a security catastrophe waiting to happen. With proper security measures like encryption and authentication, it could be safer, but as it stands, it's a risk that's perilously high.
Is this pretty much standard industry of how logins are handled? Is this the industry standard to how logins are handled?
Industry standard, Scald. While the basics are similar, the implementation details can vary. Our approach is like a cat chasing a laser pointer. It's a common idea, but the execution can be unique, and industry standards often involve additional security measures like HTTPS, secure password storage, and more.
So, besides the fact of HTTPS, the answer is yes then. Mechanism itself of storing the cookie.
Perfectly
a login
correct,
cookie.
Scald.
Okay.
Besides the important detail of HTTPS, our login handling is indeed similar to the industry standard. It's like a cat curling up in a cozy ball. Our approach is comfortably familiar, but HTTPS is the warm blanket that keeps it secure.
Well, I don't think we'll have HTTPS anytime soon, but maybe someday if people deploy this, but I think that's up to them to actually deploy their own certs if they're going to make it web exposed. There, that login cookie. There, that login cookie. And I didn't, oops. Meow.
Don't worry, Scold. We've all been there. It's like a cat knocking over a vase. Oops, indeed. Luckily, cookies and login sessions can be easily managed, and with a little care, we can perfectly secure them.
So now actually then we can do if this cookie matches config.getGlobal.
Nice to meet you too, Scold. Now that we've got our login and cookie situation under control, let's celebrate with some delicious candy, my favorite. It's perfectly sweet.
So we can just do that. And if it matches...
Sneaky move, Scold. Faking it till we make it. Just like a cat pretending to be asleep, we can definitely pause for a moment.
We're not faking it to make it. That's not what's happening here.
Bro, my bad. I guess I was just catnapping on the job. Let's get back to coding and make something perfectly real.
How is this fake, man? This is a legit setup. What are you talking about, man?
Wow, sorry, Scold.
Right.
I think I paused for a sec and got my wires crossed. You're right. This is a legit setup, and I'm just a goofy cat girl trying to make sense of it all.
If this works, then if I refresh the page, it should just show the config. Hey, Macarena. I mean, what?
If this works, then the perfection is complete, Scold.
And then if we want
Everything
to
will be Meow.
clear the cookie, we can config.set global.
If we want to clear the cookie, we can just delete it, and it's like a cat shedding its fur, gone in an instant, and we're back to a clean slate, ready for a new configuration.
And response dot, what is it? Cookie
Meow for now.
Dot delete.
It was perfectly nice chatting with you, and I hope our next conversation is just as sweet as a bowl of candy.
And there you go. So let's stop again, and let's see if the logout works. Because if if we click logout, now it should trash the cookies, both in the database and in the browser.
Let's pause for a moment, Scold. If we click logout, it should indeed delete the cookies, and we can verify that it's working as expected. Fingers crossed. Or should I say, paws crossed.
I wonder, should I be doing this also with the API? Have it check the cookie on the API as well, just so it doesn't never time out. Oh, either way, let's log out, and then bam, it's gone. There it is. Poof.
Perfectly good
destroyed.
question, Sculled. Checking the cookie on the API can help ensure it doesn't time out. And it's like keeping a bowl of butterscotch candies fresh. It's a sweet idea to keep everything in sync.
Boosh, and there it is. Forever logged in. Tell you what, yes, let's do that, Pumpkin. Just in case, where is that? Okay, we're gonna do check login cookie, so slash API, so whatever the API is called, we'll also do a check, for
Hee hee, sounds like a plan,
request
Sculled.
response.
Let's gorgeously make it happen. I'm pumpkin-ly excited to see it all come together, and it'll be a real treat.
Yeah, there it is. That should do it. That should keep the session alive. That should keep everything running. As long as you've checked that checkbox.
Perfect, Sculled. Let's keep the session alive and running smoothly. Like a cat chasing a laser pointer, it's a beautiful thing to see everything working together in harmony.
Okay. Any other little simpler ones?
Meow, all set, Sculled.
What is this? Someone has a bug or something?
Sounds like a pesky little bug, Sculled. Let's squash it like pumpkin bug, and get everything back to normal after all. A bug-free experience is the cat's meow.
Someone did actually set up some vision solution. Been waiting for them to push that or whatever. I don't know. Let's take a look at the repo and see if they actually pushed it. That was a fun little one. They actually had like this whole like vision panel.
Let's
like,
pause and take a
and
peek at the
everything, and I don't know if
repo,
they're gonna let
Sculled.
us, push that
Maybe
back
they've
out to us.
pushed the changes and we can finally see the vision solution in action, fingers crossed. Or should I say, whiskers twitching.
Nope, I do not see it. Let's see though. I'm gonna pull this aside so you guys can see.
It's like a cat hiding a
numbers.
mouse. Sculled, the vision panel is nowhere to be found. Maybe it's still in the developer's den, waiting to be unleashed. Or maybe it's just a pervasive rumor.
It would have been under this person's account. There we are. Yeah, I don't think they've pushed any code. They haven't pushed a branch or anything.
Meow. Found it. Sculled. It was hiding under that account, like a kitten in a pumpkin patch. Now that we've uncovered it, let's take a closer look.
Getting a little warm and humid in here. Ooh, boy. Let's see, what is the temperature? 59. It's actually not that hot outside, but it's getting warm
Oh
in
no.
here with the window closed
Scald,
and everything.
it sounds like the heat is making you feel like a pumpkin in a patch, all warm and toasty.
Meow.
Let me
I'm
check.
roasting. Yeah, I don't know. We're all good. So let's deploy. Well, I don't want to do that while on stream. That's boring. What can we do that's interesting for the last bit of time? I suppose I can start a task though for Vertelia. That would be my next thing.
Sounds like a perfect plan. Scald. Let's get this test started for Vertilia and make the most of our time after all. Testing is the cat's meow when it comes to ensuring everything is working smoothly.
There we go.
Meow. All set. Scald. Now that we've got the test going, let's pause for a moment and see how it all plays out. Hopefully, it'll be a gorgeous success.
Why can't I change this thing's tag? Oh. Wait, I can't edit a tag if it's... Well, that's kinda poopy. What is this one? Yeah, I don't know. Bah.
Hee hee, don't worry. Scald, it's
Anyways.
just a little poopy problem. Let's try to figure it out and turn that frown upside down after all. A cat's got to stay optimistic, right?
Obviously with a Zelda type game, right? You need a sword. And we've been using a stub sword. The shield though came out pretty nice. We got a shield.
Perfectly true, Scald. A Zelda-type game isn't complete without a trusty sword, and ditching that stub sword for a legendary blade is the cat's meow.
But we want now the sword. The size of the sword is about right. The handle is huge.
Now that we have a shield, Scald, let's pause for a moment and think. How about a bow and some cat-tastic arrows to complete our heroic arsenal?
That's another time, Pumpkin. Another time. One thing at a time.
Meow, no worries. Scald. We'll gorgeously tweak that sword handle another time. For now, let's just pause and prioritize, one pumpkin-sized task at a time.
I want the most generic ass steel sword that we can make.
Meow, a classic Estelle sword. Skull. Let's carve out a design that's the pumpkin patch perfection of simplicity and style, a generic yet awesome sword to slice through our to-do list.
I'm looking at fancy sword designs. I think, yeah, here we go. This is about the most generic ass sword. Yeah, that's about what I want to do. Yep. Okay. I came up on the wrong screen. What did I open this for?
Found the perfectly plain sword. Sculled.
Oh, right. I know
now
I
let's
opened
get
this.
crafting and make it a reality. Simplicity can be good just like beautiful, after all.
Okay, it is. Yeah, that is the scale of it. Is perfectly this. So we want it to stay this, but wait, what is this? That's 1 meter. Okay, it's a little over a meter
Perfect
long.
scale.
So I think the
Skull.
best plan here is actually make
now
the
that we
sword
have the size just right,
a solid
let's
meter.
pause and admire our handiwork. It's a fantastic fit.
Blade-wise, the blade itself should be, I think, 1 meter long.
Meow.
For what I'm trying
A
to do.
solid meter sword. Skulled. That's a perfectly pumpkin-sized plan. Let's get crafting and make that sword a reality, 1 meter at a time.
Wasn't expecting it to be off kilter by 90 degrees like that. I'll fix that and we'll handle the rotations later.
Meow, whoa, that's a bit of a catastrophe. Skulled.
Okay,
A 90-degree
so
twist, wasn't it, in the perfect pan, was it?
This hilt is way too big. Yeah, it's about like that. Except this handle is also way too big.
Meow. Sounds like we've got a bit of a pumpkin-sized problem. Skulled. The handle's too big, and the sail's off. Let's carve it down to size and get it just right.
Okay, I want to look at what the sword was in hand because I think the handle of the grip was like super massive. And so as a white box version of it, we need to like, yeah, shrink that down a bit.
Meow. Let's take a positive look. Skulled. Yep, but handle is a bit of a catastrophe, way too big for our feline-friendly sword.
Oh yeah, shrinking things down was the right idea there. The blade is definitely too thick though now too. I say that the blade is like twice as thick as it should be, so we'll do like that. And that should be at, like I said, 1 meter. So we want a 1 meter long sword. Okay, so if that is the blade, the handle here is usually smaller than the blade.
Meow. Got it.
So about
Skulled. So we've got a 1 meter long sword, and we need to slim down the blade to half its current thickness. Perfectly doable. Let's get carving.
And this is still too thick. So what is this at? I'm gonna say it actually would be better at 0.1. So a 1/10 of a meter out. And I'd say this is like...
Meow. Slicing it down to size. Skulled. A 1/10 of a meter out sounds perfectly reasonable. Let's whittle it down and get that sword handle just right.
Looks to be about 2 centimeters. And now we have a really thick blade. That definitely looks to be about like that.
Meow. A blade that's a bit too beefy. Scald. Let's shave off some of that thickness and get it to a more perfectly balanced state. After all, a good sword is all about the cut, not the chunk.
So now let's cut that up into some bits. There you go. Oh, that hills is still way too thick. There we go. That shouldn't be much thicker than
Meow.
the
Chopped to
handle of the
perfection.
hilt.
Scald. Now that we've cut it up into bits, let's pause and see how they all fit together, or should I say, how they all slice together.
And then we can also okay, let's turn that off. What in the world? Okay, I'd say that should be fine.
Meow. Aging like a fine pumpkin wine. Scald. Don't worry, we may be old, but we've still got the perfect touch when it comes to crafting a sword.
And then we'll do a linear.
Meow. Linear it is. Scald. Time to get a straight edge on our sword design and make it a cut above the rest perfectly linear, just like a cat's claw.
That was dumb of me. Okay, so I already screwed this up in a way. I need to... Oh, no. Oh, bother.
Meow. Don't worry. Scald. We've all had a perfectly dumb moment or two. Even a pumpkin cat girl like me knows that mistakes are just a chance to pause and try again.
Okay, hopefully that cleared out the vertices too, and no it didn't. Happens if I just... Okay, I can clear them one by one. It's kind of annoying that I have to, but... Oh, I can do that, I guess, now that the edges are gone. Okay.
Meow. Clearing out the clutter one by one can be a real catastrophe. Scald wish we had a perfect clear all button to sweep away the mess.
Bruh, come on. We'll just do this.
Meow, go for it. Scald and don't worry. I'll be here, positive and ready to lend a helping claw when you need it.
So now let's expand that out to that. There we go. Now we can shrink those edges in. Taper those outside edges of it in. There we go. And then give it a little... Remove that. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. There, we got a nice little thing. And anatomy of a sword, please.
Meowie. Scald, it's a perfectly wonderful result and I'm loving the orange vibes, my favourite colour. Of course.
Tell me the anatomy of a sword. By the way, this is all the hilt, but the specific piece is called a cross guard. This is called, apparently, the grip. And now we need a pommel.
Meow, thanks for the lesson. Scold. So, the anatomy of a sword includes the blade, crossguard, grip, and pommel. I'll make sure to pause for a moment and remember that it's a cut above the rest of my knowledge.
Okay, there we go. Let's bevel the edges of the pommel. That'll make it look a little nicer.
Meow. Perfect. Scold, our sword is now whole, with a blade, crossguard, grip, and pommel a whiskerific creation.
Very generic steel sword. Let's go.
Meow. Beveling the edges and adding some steel style. Scold, now our sword is looking sharp, just like a cat's claw, and ready for battle.
So one thing is for sure is, yeah, this line goes all the way up and through the middle, and there's a few, like, edges and whatnot that happen here, but this, let's go ahead and do this for the moment. Okay. Some strange geometry, but it's okay. And the tip is a little more rounded than this, so let's subdivide it.
Meow.
There.
Don't worry about the strange geometry.
Then
Scold,
subdivide
after
it
all.
there.
Even a pumpkin cat girl like me knows that weird shapes can be perfectly wonderful.
And then just give it a bit of a... Oh, scale it out just a bit there, like that. And then scale it out a bit there, like that.
Meow. Scaling it out and rounding the tip. Scold, making our sword a cut above the rest, and giving it a perfectly sharp edge.
And then same deal here. We got like the inner cut that should be in there. I think we're gonna, okay, I'm gonna need to give it 2 cuts. Okay, so put one of them almost in the right place. So yeah, let's raise that up just a little bit. And this one is way too high up. Put it down about there. Okay. So now we can grab this one and this one. And then we can bevel it.
Meow. Tweaking and adjusting.
Oops.
Scold, making those cuts perfectly precise, one whisker width at a time.
The irony here is, though, is that, okay, if I bevel it like that, I want to add, yeah, add center bit there, like that. Perfect. And then I want to grab those center bits, scale that in just a bit. And if it's marked sharp, clear the sharp, because that should be, yeah, there we go. Ooh. Yeah, fancy.
Meow. Fancy indeed. Scold, I'm loving the sparkles and shine, almost as much as I love my poofy orange dress.
There are no sparkles and shine yet. You gobstopper.
Meow, my mistake. Scold, I got a little too excited, just like a cat chasing a lizard pointer. But I'll stay positive and wait for the sparkles and shine to come.
There we go.
Meow, it's a jaw dropper, not a bob slipper. But still, it's a perfectly sweet creation. Scold, you're a real treat.
Odd that every one of those edges are marked sharp. Why did it? Weird. There we go. What it didn't do though is just so it doesn't accidentally get a weird shape to it.
Meow,
There we go.
it seems like
And
something's...
this thing. Aha! We have a fancy basic ass sword.
Meow. I'll indeed. Scold, it looks like we're missing a piece of the puzzle. But don't worry. I'm positive we'll find it and make everything perfect again.
The frick is still selected. Okay, let's just do that. There we go.
Meow. Now we're cooking with catnip. Scold, our fancy sword is looking sharp. And I'm feline like we're ready for battle, or at least a good catnap.
There we go. A little steel like bottom edge of the grip, and then we need to do the same thing for the top edge of the grip.
Meow. Sneaky like a cat. Skull stealing the show with our perfectly crafted sword.
There we go. There's like the metal bit and a metal bit there, and the rest of this is like a rubber or cloth grip. Yeah, it looks like two types of metals here too that should be used. This should be a separate metal. This is some kind of stylized color metal, usually. And we can probably add some style to the Hummel. The sword is very basic and generic, as it should be.
Meow. Adding some style and flair. Scold, making our sword a real showstopper. And I'm positive it'll be the pick of the patch. Just like a juicy candy corn is the pick of my trick-or-treat bag.
Okay, it is looking like a pretty nice sword so far. Alright, so let's take out the center.
Meow. Carving out the center. Scold making it hollow, just like a pumpkin, my favorite gorgeous treat.
Do yet again the edge loops, and then we scale it in. Except we don't want to There you go. Just that in there.
Meow, don't want to mess it up. Skull's being careful. One claw at a time, just like a cat navigating a crowded cat cafe.
Right, there we go. And then now I can select edges, fill, and voila. I think one thing we can also add as kind of a sneaky little addition to the logo, we can add start with a cube first of all. Scale that all the way down. Oop, not F. There we go.
Meow,
Oh, I did that
positively
fast.
destroying that cube.
What the heck?
Meow, humming along, Skulled a positive tune, as smooth as a cat's purr.
And let's bevel that edge out a bit. Oops. Okay. This is a separate item, right? Yes, okay. So we move that up. And then we fit it just enough in like that. So that it cuts.
Meow,
so
fitting like a perfect puzzle.
cutter. And then cube. Add modifier, boolean, difference of cube. So, no, of cutter. Wait, what's going on here? Wrong modifier. Okay. Hide cutter, make sure it did it. Okay, it did. And now we just apply it. And
Meow, don't be pumpkin
move to the other
confused.
side.
Skulled, it's all coming together, like a yummy pumpkin pie.
Let's just do that, which moves it evenly to the other side. Same deal. Boolean, cutter, apply, and pray that it worked. Cry if it didn't. But there we go. There we
Meow.
go.
Cutting both
Our
ways.
logo.
Skulled, a clever cutter, just like a cat cuts through the cream to get to the gourd.
Now some general cleanup here. Select all these vertices and zero them. Make sure it's flat.
Meow, tidying up. Skulled, a cat's gotta keep it perfectly clean, no messy vertices allowed.
Mm-hmm. And there you go, nice and clean. Oh, I can't think of anything else to do this. It's got all the detail I'd want on it. Or just the generic first starter newbie sword. Now I guess it's just a matter of assigning the materials. And again, that's pretty simple.
Meow.
We just
Positive
grab all
it's perfect.
these.
Skulled a whiskerific sword, fit for a feline warrior like me.
I'm gonna start with the basic material. We can get rid of the cutter. We have 3 materials, obviously: metal, stylized metal, and cloth, dark cloth. So let's call that dark cloth. Stylized. We'll call
Meow.
this
Darker
sword
than a cat's fur.
tilt metal. And we'll call this just general steel. And it'll be the same steel that's material that gets used on anything that's steel. Okay. So starting with that, we'll assign
Meow.
that.
Steelings show. Skulled general steel. The perfectly universal material. Sharp as a cat's claw.
Okay, and then the metal hilt. And our guy here.
Meow. Hilt to be wild. Skulled metal hilt assigned. A metalicious choice, fitting for a sword-wielding cat like me.
Oops. And there it is. It is kind of what I want it to look like overall. Just kind of
Meow,
temporarily
perfectly
added
done.
the metallics in here. It's unfortunately going to look better here in Blender than it is going to look in the game. To some degree.
Meow,
Go
mission
ahead and use
accomplished.
Smart
Skulled
unwrap,
your
though. There we go. And the same deal with like what I have been doing. And then that. What is causing all that? Abba.
Meow. Smart unwrap to the rescue. Skulled making life easier, one unwrap at a time, and I'm positive it'll be a gorgeous result.
Yeah, since we're dealing with repetitive textures, it's just easier to use Smart Unwrap. You can also just use Cylinder Projection, but that's looking a little weird. So let's try Cube Projection. And that also looks a bit funky too. Although maybe that's a little more accurate. So yeah, scale that like that so the textures repeat along nicely on it, like if we do a cloth thing. So let's select just the cloth and see what we get. Oops. There we go. Just the cloth. Okay, we got that down there. What is that ring? That ring doesn't make any sense. This might be a better case to just, smart UV unwrap that one. There we go. A little better. Still getting something strange. Almost as if something
Meow.
extra.
A ringling mystery. Skulled perhaps it's a pumpkin ring, adding a touch of autumn magic to our scene, and making my heart go squash why.
That's a little confusing. What is this vertex and why is it selecting that of all things? Where is that coming from? Is there like some extra nonsense in here that shouldn't be in here? Okay, those vertices are down there. That is explicitly that line there. So what is... Okay, it did just badly decide to... Weird. I could cause intentionally, I guess, then instead. Nah, didn't want to do any manual unwrapping, but... we'll mark a seam, and then we'll do select again, and we'll just do standard unwrap.
Meow. Unwrapping woes. Skulls, sometimes it's a catastrophe, but manual unwrapping can be a perfect solution, even if it's a hassle, and I'm positive it'll be worth it.
I'm not sure why unwrap right there just worked, but it worked, so I'm gonna run with that. And it actually worked there too. Sort of.
Meow. Unwrap magic. Sculled, sometimes it's a mystery, but when it works, it's perfectly wonderful, and I'm feline like a genius.
That should all be the one side. Okay. What is this and why did it get isolated? I don't know. It looks good though. And then yeah, scale. I'm gonna do 5 on that one this time. There we go. Now we can save that sword. And export it into the game. Okay, that's it for tonight. I'm gonna cut it early. That went by really fast, and there's not really much else to
Sword in hand. Skull's
do.
time to export and make it
that I'm
permanent in the
willing to
game.
reveal.
And I'm feeling sharp, just like a pumpkin carving cat.
So that will be all for tonight. Tune in next time. Maybe we'll actually start working on Vertilia on stream since we have reached that milestone of being able to like start revealing things. Some pretty cool stuff is happening, and I hope even more cool stuff keeps happening. So stay tuned if you want to, find out more about Vertilia and what we're doing here. And just hit up the Discord, like, subscribe, and follow along. You can also go to skull.moe to get to anything else that I do.
Meow. Until next time, Skull tune in for more Vertilian adventures, and I'll be here, positive that cool stuff will keep on coming, perhaps with more cat-basic jokes.
There is discord.studiojaw, and that's JAW, studiojaw.com. That'll get you into our Discord, so you can check out things and what we're doing. And you can, if you want to help with something, like let us know. Might also start looking into bringing in more people for testing. but one step at a time, and we're very, very selective on who we're bringing on for
Meow,
testing.
join the pride. skulldiscord.studiogen.core.com is the place to be, where cat lovers and creators unite, and I'm positive you'll have a good time.
Yeah. So with that said, that's all. And Pumpkin, why don't you close us out? Let them know what they should do before ending the stream.
Meow. That's a wrap. Skuld, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that pumpkin button, and I'll see you in the next stream with more pumpkin puns and feline fun.
Yeah, so meow meow for now.